President, I want to just take a few minutes. I know there are others waiting to speak, and I'll be brief. I would just want to take a couple of minutes to reflect on what just happened here on the Senate floor. We had a bipartisan bill that was shepherded through the Energy Committee by the chair, Senator Murkowski, and the ranking member, Senator Cantwell. And because our colleagues from Michigan refused to take yes for an answer, objecting to a vote on their very amendment, the Democratic caucus has come together and brought down this bipartisan bill, killing it, at least for the time being. And I share the majority leader's hope that discussions can continue and that cooler, more reasonable minds will prevail rather than just the gamesmanship that frankly frustrates all of us and gives Congress a bad name. Because we know the vote that just went down was not about the energy bill. This is about trying to embarrass Republicans and to try to make us look bad and act and portray us as having no compassion for the poor people of Flint, which is exactly the opposite of true. I stood here on the floor. I'd ask regular order and
order in the chamber, please.
The fact of the matter is, Senator Murkowski, the bill manager, the chairman of the Energy Committee, made an offer for a vote on a $550 million package. $550 million package. The senator from Michigan has asked for a check for $600 million, but Senator Murkowski, in good faith, trying to be responsible, offered them an alternative, a $550 million package, and they refused it, instead choosing to bring down this legislation. But I think it's important to note that the state of Michigan has already appropriated somewhere close to $27 million, including funds specifically set aside for outside experts to conduct an infrastructure integrity study. The fact of the matter is the state of Michigan and the city of Flint don't yet know what they need to do to fix the problem or how much it will cost. And the senators from Michigan come in here and say, well, we don't need a plan. We just want cash up front, $600 million. We want this added to the national debt, which is already $19 trillion. When I think the senator from Alaska, the bill manager, made a very reasonable suggestion that let's the state and the city get started with the money that's been appropriated by the state, together with tens of millions of dollars that the Obama administration is making available to the state of Michigan that can be then available to the city of Flint to get started, to do the infrastructure integrity study, to come up with a plan, and then the senators can come back to Congress, hopefully during the regular appropriations process, and come up with a responsible, shared plan for this local government, for the state government, and for the federal government to help the poor people of Flint out of this terrible crisis. But instead, what we seem to have found happen is, in the immortal words of Rahm Emanuel, now the mayor of Chicago, formerly Chief of Staff at the White House, when he said, never let a crisis go to waste. And that's what is happening here. It's not responsible, it's not reasonable, and I think what Senator Murkowski's counter-offer to the demands of the senators from Michigan demonstrate is it's not even a good faith effort to try to solve a problem. It's just trying to put on a showboat and embarrass people. We also need to understand that the Environmental Protection Agency bears significant responsibility here. The Obama administration's Environmental Protection Agency. They failed the people of Flint when they didn't act sooner. We heard that one agency director who has already resigned. But let me be clear. There's no disagreement that we all want to work together to help the people of Flint find a solution. Once we have more information about the needs of the city and the state of Michigan, and they know exactly what kind of help they need and in what amount. What we disagree about is that this bipartisan energy bill should be held hostage until we know the solution. So that's just, it frankly is beyond frustrating. It's disappointing. It's not serving our constituents and the American people the way we should in a responsible, common sense, bipartisan way. This is all about gamesmanship. This is all about gotcha. This is, in other words, this is all about the things that the American people have come to loathe and hate about the political process in Washington, D.C. We can do better. We must do better. And I share the majority leader's wish that negotiations will continue and that cooler, more sensible minds will come together on a solution that we could perhaps agree to. Madam President, I yield the floor.